In this lesson, we're going to be discussing a little bit about the Microsoft Exam 70-346. Listed here is the URL with information about the exam and its objectives. The exam fee is $165 US and is provided by Pearson VUE, at least in the United States. If you've taken Microsoft exams before, this should be the same as you're used to. Passing this test will earn you the MCP or Microsoft Certified Professional certification, and it's the first of two exams that will earn you the MCSA or Microsoft Certified Systems Administrator for Office 365. The other half of that certification is 70-347, Enabling Office 365 Services. There's a course for that also available on Platform Scholar, by the way. In addition, this exam can be taken as an elective for the MCSA Windows 2012 certification, normally replacing the more common 70-412 exam. No word yet on credit towards Windows 2016 certifications. The exam is offered in multiple languages as seen here. There are 6 objectives or skills measured as part of this exam, the first of which is to provision Office 365. This includes provisioning the tenant, adding a custom domain, and planning a pilot. The second objective is to plan and implement networking and security. For this, we will be configuring DNS records, enabling client connectivity, administrating Microsoft Azure rights management, and managing the administrator roles. The next 3 objectives, as you will see, represent the 3 different identity models that are available to us as mentioned in the Identities primer lesson. The first of which is managing cloud identities. This is a model that has no synchronization or integration with on-premise systems. The users are simply managed via the web portal only. For this, we will be configuring password management, managing user and security groups, and managing cloud identities with PowerShell. For Objective 4, we'll be working with the password or directory synchronization method using Azure AD Connect tool. This includes preparing the on-premise Active Directory, setting up the tool, and managing Active Directory users and groups with the tool in place. Objective 5 has us configuring federated identities and single sign-on. We will be planning the requirements for Active Directory Federation services, installing and managing the ADFS servers, as well as installing and managing the WAP or Web Application Proxy servers. Finally, for Objective 6, we will be monitoring and troubleshooting Office 365 availability and usage. For this, we will be analyzing reports, monitoring service health, and isolating service interruptions. As you can see, all objectives are 15 to 20% of the exam, which is approximately 1/6, meaning that all the objectives are weighed similarly in the number of questions that will be covered during the exam. There are a number of different types of questions that you will be asked when you take the exam, including multiple choice, best answer, drag and drop, build a list, and case studies, among others. Now, the multiple choice type of question can have one answer or multiple answers. When there are multiple answers, there will be checkboxes next to each answer for multi-selection. The best answer question type means that there could be more than one correct answer. However, the question will ask you to achieve something in the least amount of time or the least amount of effort or some other way to determine which of the correct answers best fits the requirements given. The case study section is often separate from the rest of the test. For example, when I took the exam, initially it told me there'd be a certain number of questions, but then it seemed like there were less. However, after I finished the first group of questions, I was then brought to the section with case studies for the remainder of the questions. For the case study questions themselves, you are presented with an organization that has multiple stakeholders. Each stakeholder has a requirement for a specific project outcome. A solution is then presented as part of each question, and it is your job to determine if the requirements are being met for each particular person. You can find more about Microsoft question types in the URL listed here. So, what score is necessary to pass? Well, that's easy. Microsoft tells us that we need a 700 score to pass the exam. So what does that mean? Well, unfortunately, we don't really know. Although they give us the score, they do not give us any information as to what that score represents. They do tell us that most questions are worth 1 point and that there is no penalty for guessing, which means that a wrong answer is no worse than a blank answer. They also tell us that some of the questions on the exam may not be included in the calculation of our score. These questions are beta questions or experimental, but you are not alerted to which ones they are. As you can see, they do tell us that the actual number of items that you need to answer correctly in order to pass is determined by a group of subject matter experts in conjunction with the Microsoft psychometricians. I don't know what that means, but I will say that it seems like a score of 70% or higher on all sections should give you a passing grade. But again, each exam could be scored differently. I have heard, however, that if you do too poorly on a particular section, you may fail regardless of your overall score, but I have no way of actually knowing if that's true or not. If you have any information regarding scoring of Microsoft exams, please leave a comment in the discussion area. Due to the nature of cloud offerings such as Office 365, it is possible for the exam or the exam objectives to change continually, or for the exam to become outdated due to changes made to Office 365 itself. Being a cloud service means that Microsoft can deploy new updates and features more quickly than with other types of products. Just recently, the exam objectives and question pools changed in June or July of 2016. You can find more about the recent changes by going to the link below. This means that some of the training that has been available to date could now be inaccurate or incomplete. Even more recently, they have changed the User Administration Center, where most of the work we will be doing is done, and we will go over these changes in each of the objectives. Okay, so that's it for the introduction to this course. Let's get started with Objective 1.1, which is Provisioning Tenants.